You want to call to order? Okay, I'm calling it.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for this Easter season, Lord. We're so grateful for the love you've showed us in this world, in this country. We just thank you, Lord, for the blessing we have. Lord, we think recently of these storms that have come through and even more coming yet, that, Lord, you just be with all these people that have lost their homes and even those that lost loved ones in the storms. And just pray, Lord, that you just comfort them in a special way. Now today, Lord, we ask your blessing upon this meeting. Let everything that's said and done bring honor and glory to you. And we ask this in Jesus' name.
Amen. Welcome, everybody. We usually don't get standing room only in our meetings, but Sue, and I guess it's just you and I again, so we will move on. Announcements and correspondence. I got a quick one yesterday. I got assaulted at the restaurant, and it never even thought of me. I did mention it to Cassie. We have a lady that she's an elder, and she loves hiking, and she asked me to mention it to Cassie. She would love to have a senior hike group because she's 80 years old and does not like to go out and hike by herself.
Oh, I can hike with her.
I just thought it was a good idea.
Yeah.
So I just told her to bring it up, and she loves all your advertising and all the programs and your pictures of beauty of Brimfield.
Yeah.
So, that's all. Do you have any announcements?
Yeah.
Okay. The meeting guest.
Yes. I had a meeting guest to add.
Okay.
Tom Nader from Field Youth Soccer is
Yeah,
here.
that's what I figured.
Yes.
Says, you want to get to that right away?
Sure.
Well, wait a minute.
Oh, sorry.
Do you want to do the please first?
Whatever works
Yeah, let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and get that. This is very monumental.
Unless you guys want to stay for the whole meeting, we'll do it at the end. It's probably going to be a no.
You do know you're required to come to the first year of meetings.
When I get done, Michael, I have
Okay.
Good morning, everybody. It's my pleasure to one of the fun parts of being police chief is you get a chance to bring somebody into the profession. Particularly in today's climate of law enforcement, it's challenging for our safety forces here and everywhere. And it's certainly my pleasure to get an opportunity to swear in Christopher this morning as a new full-time police officer for our police department. Chris is a Brimfield resident, lives over in Cranberry Creek with his family, which is kind of a side benefit of bringing him into the community. So he's kind of already a great fit for his family and looking forward to bringing him on board and putting him through a training program and just a positive piece going forward. So let's go ahead and get started. Chris, can you raise your right hand and repeat after me?
Okay.
I state your name.
I, Christopher McKenzie,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution and the laws of the United States of America,
that I will support the constitutions and the laws of the United States of America,
the Constitution and laws of the state of Ohio,
the constitution and laws of the state of Ohio,
and the laws and ordinances of Brimfield Township.
and the laws and ordinances of Brimfield Township,
And I will discharge the duties of the office of police officer
and I will discharge the duties of the office of police officer
to which I have been appointed
to which I have been appointed
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
So, yeah,
So help me God.
congratulations.
Did you have a toss? I can talk. I'll talk to Chris about them next phone calls. dispatch call on people. Oh, yeah, I haven't done it. I'll fix it. I didn't call my extension. I don't know how you end up.
We're gonna do pictures after I swear to Zach, we'll go all together outside.
We've never had two officers.
Zach, what else? If the next officer swearing in, police officer preference, Zach second. Zach and Christopher actually know one another, they both went to the police academy together. Both just graduated in February, took their state exams in February, so we started the process while you guys were both in the academy. Had to get to the academy, please take care of the pieces afterwards, so these two gentlemen know one another, already come on board our police department, so again, Zach, we'll welcome you aboard the police department. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Zachary Sudbury,
Do solemnly swear
solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution and the laws of the United States of America.
to support the Constitution and the laws of the United States of America,
The Constitution and laws of the state of Ohio,
the Constitution and laws of the state of Ohio,
and the laws and ordinances of Brimfield Township.
laws and ordinances of Brimfield Township.
And I will discharge the duties of the office of police officer
I will discharge the duties of the office of police officer,
to which I have been appointed
to which I have been appointed
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
All right, Zach, let me get you John.
An official photographer. For the next one, battery power.
Okay. Thanks, everybody. We'll get some pictures, guys.
Welcome aboard.
We need to get.
Okay.
So that I could just take or TV.
Hey, Roy,
TV.
make sure he's one of the most important people in the township.
For something like this, we're just keeping it
You know,
really nice.
No, it's.
It's like mom at home, she controls the strings. Okay, now, Tom.
Yes.
Morning. Good morning, how are you? Good.
Well, I appreciate you giving me an opportunity to speak this morning. I'm Tom Nader from the Field Youth Officer. I'm the president of the organization. And I wanted to just get some more clarity, I guess, on the township center fields and some clarity on the decisions of how maybe we still fit kind of in the future plans with some of the blueprints that have been shared with you just recently.
Right.
Obviously, that impacts our organization and a lot of kids. And so we just want to make sure that we kind of understand maybe where we fit moving forward.
Right. I mean, we want nothing more than to help our kids, that's for sure. But I mean, I guess the way I look at it is, it's not the township's responsibility to provide your organization fields. We are doing it for the kids, and, I mean, I think it's a great thing we're doing, and I mean, if you would, I think you should agree too, because we're basically letting you guys use fields, and we're maintaining them, which you don't have to do. I mean, And I mean, I know there was some discussion about maintenance on the fields, et cetera, et cetera. You do understand that we have a union here, and the fields are their responsibility. And if you would do what you guys want to do, I mean, we could get grievances filed on us.
What do you mean by that?
Well, like, I mean, I know I heard you guys said that you wanted to help with the maintenance and different things in the field.
We brought up the idea of partnering or trying to open a discussion on what would need to be done and try and get some grass planted
Oh,
for
yeah, yeah.
prevention. It wasn't that we wanted to interject and take.
Yeah, I just want you to understand where we're coming from, because we, you know, unfortunately, I mean, unions are a great thing, but, you know, if we overstep our boundaries and we take work away from the unions, that gives them an opportunity to file a grievance on us. And, you know, we're trying to be good partners, period. And I mean, we want to be nothing more than good partners with you guys. And Cassie, have you alluded to some of the thoughts that we've had?
Yeah, Tom and I talked about it.
That's kind of why I'm here. It's not because of the field maintenance part of it. Trust me, we are more than grateful and thankful for what you guys allow us to do with that space.
And
Our concerns or thoughts were with the blueprints that have been shared with me again just recently with the parking lot being placed in. I mean, that obviously cuts into a considerable amount of our space. And I'm not saying that you're in the wrong for making or wanting to do that decision. For us, it's just maybe to get some clarity on maybe a little bit of the why and a little bit more of how we fit within those plans.
right, I mean, part of our thought process as we move forward with this whole thing is right now we're parking, you guys are parking on private property. And there's no guarantee that that owner can tell you, you might get a certain point where he might tell you, no, I don't want you parking on this, you know, because it's my property. I'm not saying they will, or, you know, I don't know. But then also the road, you know, that's behind the fields, you do realize all the construction that's going on up there. So we have to, as we talk to Charles, who's helping us with this whole thing, we were, you know, at one point we were considering putting a shelter there. But, you know, like as I was talking to Cassie, I mean, that's not set in stone. And if that, I mean, we can definitely work on that. So, but we do have to provide parking, because it's a government, you know, it's property, it's township property. We have to provide some kind of parking. So, and not that, you know, because I guess there's some discussion that the fields are just soccer. You know, but I mean, it's basically, it's an asset of Brimfield, so I don't want to throw anything into anything, but we've had field youth football ask if they could use the fields. So, I mean, we're in a rock and a hard place. So, you know, I mean, you know, why should soccer get it all the time and other people can't use it? But I mean, if you would, back when we started with baseball, we had, it was starting off sort of like you guys were. I mean, they want to put money into the field, they want to do this and that. And then it just got into a mess where we couldn't control it. But now that we've grown bigger, and we need to have scheduling. We need, everything has to be run through our parks department. I mean, it's not like the old Brimfield where you could just come and pick the days and things. I mean, believe me, we are going to be very accommodating for your program.
And for clarity, we typically do try to work through Cassie, and we don't necessarily view that property as only we can use it, nobody else. We're not trying to have a monopoly on it.
Right, I know you are. I mean, I think you guys are great. I mean, I am so thankful that there's people like you that actually step forward and run these things. You know, because without that, I mean, you know, I used to coach soccer, played soccer when I was a kid. It's a great sport. You know, but we just have to work. We're gonna work together. And I mean, Cassie's such an easy person to work with. You know, if you guys just get that dialogue, I'm sure she's gonna make it work for you guys.
Well, if I could jump in too, just from the scheduling process that we have to go through. I ran field youth basketball for 7 years. I was in baseball and football and all that kind of stuff. I'm not there anymore. You won't be there in a couple of years. There's just a process of parents that come through, and as their kids move on, they move on. this has been going on for 15 years in regards to baseball fields and how we handle who can use the fields and how they can use them. So the easiest way that we came up with, because they are public fields, so if I showed up over there on a soccer field and wanted to play soccer in the middle of the, or play kickball on that field on a Sunday afternoon, and you guys had a planned soccer event, but you didn't reserve the field, you can't kick my family off of that field and you're out. If you have a reservation for that field, you have the opportunity or the ability to say, all right, it's a public field, but we have it reserved from X time to X time, you need to leave. That's why we put those in place out there. It's a small minimal fee. It's just so you don't say I want the whole season and I don't pay anything and then you don't show up ever. You know, we have to put some rules in place like that. So what we're trying to do with that complex there versus we're trying to make it the same as the baseball field scheduling and how we use all of those events and this room and every rentable area that we have in town, we have a procedure that we want to follow. So I think what Cassie's wanting to do is maybe get a list of dates that you guys want to reserve it for and do all.
We've been doing it for years.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been kind of doing the scheduling, so that, I'm very less concerned with that side of things.
Well, we just have to make sure it's falling. I know last year we didn't, I don't know where things fell through, but there's a contract we have to sign in regards to, because let's say, I don't know, let's say we're having a touch a truck down here, a big event for the township, and we had a tornado unfortunately come through and wipe this area out and we had to move it. We might come to you as part of that contract that says, hey, we're gonna have to kick you off the soccer fields today because we're moving the touch a truck, all that kind of legally kind of stuff is in there. I know we don't have one of those with soccer, so I know we need to get that in place. And then scheduling the times. But in regards to the parking lot as well, we have to put a parking lot there.
So can I have two questions on the parking? They may be very easy questions to ask, but they were ones in my head. I know that initially there was some agreement with the school that any overflow parking could use the school parking lot. Has that changed?
We don't have an agreement with the school. No, there's never been an agreement.
Yeah, I don't know of any.
There wasn't one that I knew.
There was an MOU.
Between soccer and us, or?
Yeah, because like Mike said, we can't go on private properties, so the school did allow us to.
What was it from
Well,
soccer?
who signed that?
Tim Fox.
Who?
Tim Fox.
Who from the township signed it? So
Look,
so it's not legal. You don't have that signature
All I'm
from it.
saying is there was.
Okay, well, that's not legal. That's one person signed it.
Well, that's here or there too with that. We just have to fix it going forward with that. I don't know.
Because if that, I didn't understand, but if that
I mean,
agreement still is in place,
you
would
might-
that supersede?
You might want to talk to the school.
Because we do soccer.
You know, that's not our, I mean, we do help the schools and I'm sure they help you. You know, maybe, just cross all your.
Well, and I'm asking because I'm trying to figure out if there's a way to eliminate the need for the parking lot. If the parking lot's an idea that's just gonna move forward as is, then so be it. I mean, I'm not gonna.
I mean, a lot of
stand
it-
in the way of it, but.
A lot of it comes down to handicap too. And you understand how important having accessible for handicapped people is.
Yeah, and with Mr. Casamento, with his private parking, obviously, like you said, it's private property, so I'm
Well,
gonna
he's-
respect that completely. Has there been any discussion, or is it even a possibility to request an annual fee that we pay as an organization for use of that parking lot, so that we're not
Not,
maybe burning up a relationship with him and upsetting him? While we never instruct anyone to park there, obviously I can't be out there every single day and night.
Oh, I
to
know.
make sure someone doesn't park there. So I guess my question is, I don't want to get in a situation where we get to a point where he's so upset with us as an organization because people are parking there. What kind of previous
well, because remember,
conversations on that have been had?
Well, let me answer that just for 1 second. About 9 or 10 years ago, we had a baseball tournament that was going on. They came out and constructed no parking signs at the beginning of those so that you couldn't get in there at all. So, and I don't believe it was even Casamento. I think it was the tenant of the building that was their rental parking lot that they had. They came and stopped anybody from parking during that whole tournament, which caused a parking issue. We haven't addressed anything with Casamento in regards to that. Because Casamento's here today, Casamento might sell the property tomorrow. We just have to handle our requirement. I think you mentioned that is the soccer field just kind of or the parking lot just going to probably proceed. My answer to that is it probably just is.
and correct me if I'm wrong, Mike, that other side has not been rented yet, right? So we have no idea if there'll be a tenant in there that's gonna that'll be favorable to you or not favorable to you. Because when Craig was, when we were talking about this earlier, they're worried. I mean, what if, that road behind you, that they're gonna build, how many units was it?
It's all close to 100 units.
100 units. So I don't know how many cars that is, but what if for some reason you have people parking on both sides of the road and we have to get a fire truck up there, or we have to get an ambulance up there, you know what I mean? So believe me, you won't find better partners than Brimfield will be with you in your soccer program.
Yeah, and I didn't come here definitely not to look for a box match.
No, I'm glad
I
you
just
did.
wanted some clarity so that I can present back to my board on how we fit moving forward, because, the addition of the parking lot then obviously impacts what size of fields or how we position the field accordingly. And there are requirements that we have to measure the fields out to make sure that we're fitting within the standards of the leagues we play in, and it's obviously different size fields. And
Right.
if we don't fit into the requirements of the size field, so there's a minimum, maximum size field we have to put on there to fit somewhere in the middle. And so I'm just trying to avoid a situation where, a lot of scenarios would have to happen for this to happen, but,
Right.
two teams show up for a game and, an opposing coach looks at those fields and says, hey, these fields don't fit within the requirements of what we're supposed to play on. Our team's forced to forfeit that game. Yeah, I'm just trying to look out for that.
Right. I mean, we're,
The pre-planning of everything.
I'm just one trustee, and it takes two trustees to make any motion. I mean, I'm all for, Cassie and I have talked about holding up the shelter. She thought maybe that, that was something you mentioned. I mean, because we could really use that money elsewhere. I mean, like I'm only talking one trustee. I mean, this community center still is not complete. And we'd like to get to that point to finish this, but we only have so many dollars we can move around. So if that would maybe help you, I mean,
It would.
So I mean, that, I don't know, we have that, maybe metal thing up there. I mean, if we move that, will that help?
It would, I don't know the exact answer to that. I mean,
Well, could you look-
the easy answer would be, it probably would in some sense, in a little, because it does
'Cause what if
provide
we-
more space, but
What if we
knowing-
could move it somewhere that would help you? I mean, you
I
need,
guess it would be, where's it moving?
well, why don't you
On the
look,
property?
why don't you look into that and let us know? I mean, we'll work with you.
You're saying trying to find somewhere else on that property?
If you think, if that would help.
Having a storage unit there helps us because we have different things that we use as an
Right.
organization, that having
But if
on
we
site
could-
is helpful.
But if we could get it out of the way to help you and move it to, think about it.
How much room do we have, David, how much room do we have on the north side of the new driveway that got put in there?
Not much because of the ditch.
Because that area over there is somewhere that you're never gonna use anyway, if we could actually get it in there somehow.
I'll certainly look into that.
Yeah, well, let's work together on this.
Yeah, well, for sure, yeah, like I said, I didn't come here looking to create an argument or stir up trouble. I just,
I'm past the point of arguing.
yeah, I feel like maybe that, storage container was placed there because it's closest to the edge and most far out of the way already to begin with. So a repositioning of it, I'm not quite sure, but it's something I can certainly walk the
Yeah,
property
okay.
and have some ideas. Might come back and say, you know what, I think it's actually the best possible place to stay out of the way, or.
Yeah, I mean, if you just run everything through Cassie, I mean, believe me, we would love to work with you, because like I said, I truly appreciate, I mean, every one of your organizations volunteers. Just like field youth football and baseball, I mean, it's a lot of work. I was a coach for a long time, and it's a lot of drama.
Well, I understand too that if we were to go ahead with a pavilion type thing over there, that interferes with having our,
Fireworks.
the fireworks for the Brimfest, that it interferes because there's a structure there. And then we're gonna have to go find someplace else to shoot off our fireworks. So that's just a thought. I haven't.
A nice thought would be is if we could buy this property right here. If There'd be a beautiful field there. I mean, that would be a great complex. I don't know how we could do it. Maybe Mike Casrena would think about making a very generous donation to the township. We would love to partner with you guys on that. I mean, because we are so passionate about creating this town center concept. But number one, we don't have any restaurants in our town center. You know, thank God we got 2 restaurants coming into the town center because we want to have everything just connected with sidewalks. You know, now we got the library coming in. We're going to do a lighting district down there to get lights in there. I mean, you know, just think years to come, you know, how beautiful that town center, but you have to have stuff in town center to have a town center. And right now we have empty storefronts, you know, I mean, now we have the Kelso House, which we're helping with, and we're now the library. I mean, we're starting to finally come to fruition on this, so, I mean, you know, anytime you want to call me, or anything, just, Cassie is she wants nothing. And she feels so bad about this, I'm telling her, because she wants to make it right for you, and I understand your stuff. And, you know, just, have you ever looked with the German American Club, let you put a field there? They used to.
They used to, and then,
Because our goals are there.
some political things started happening, there were reasons that they kind of decided they didn't want us back there all the time. I think it was honestly part of our growth as an organization.
Yeah.
More teams, more families, more usage, and so it kind of became a little overwhelming for them. I'm hearing that was before my time. I've been on the board for about 8 years now.
That's how you make it worth you talking to them.
And we've had different arrangements and agreements and situations of playing multiple places. And that's also why our interest on this project means so much to us, because, we kind of see this as a potential future home for us that we can use for multiple years, as opposed to trying to find new green space every 3 years, which has kind of been the trend for our organization, because obviously the fields as you get older, obviously the fields get bigger. So finding land that can accommodate those bigger fields becomes challenging at times, so.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting nothing but parkland now. We've got so much. I mean, I think you heard we got the new park behind Coles, which is beautiful. I mean, she's your best partner. I'm telling you. She knows these parks.
Well, in regards to the guidelines that she's making, that's more on me, forcing her to follow those, just because we have other facilities that we have to treat the exact same way. So yours falls right into that same category with baseball and the ground property. It just has to follow the same process.
And we're happy to follow by her.
Okay.
Those
Yeah, let her, you guys can figure it all out. She's capable.
And you guys used to sponsor teams, but you guys stopped sending me info. Not you, I don't know. Someone stopped sending me info on teams. I'd love to sponsor a team.
Okay, we'll reach back out to you for sure.
Yeah, that'd be great. Or Cassie can give you my cell phone number. Sure. Just call. We'll definitely sponsor a team or two. So, and I'm truly thankful for what you do, man.
Yep.
So, thank you very much.
Well, thanks for coming.
Appreciate it.
Just keep the lines open.
Yep.
You don't want to be here for the whole meeting. You can run.
I do have to get to work, so I appreciate everybody's time and listening to me on Saco this morning.
Thanks for coming in.
And just keep the lines open. Let's work on this together and get it done the right way. Okay. Okay. I'm going to make a motion that we approve the minutes.
Second.
Those are from 3:22. All those in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Okay, agenda. I would like to make one change to the agenda. This will be 2B under new, change of meeting date.
Under admin?
Yeah.
Or 2A?
2B, new business. Admin.
Well, the first one's none.
Huh? Oh, none, okay. Yep, gotta get those new glasses.
Meeting
Okay,
date.
Sue, need a second?
Second.
Okay.
A change of meeting date.
I have a lot more that we need to add as well. Under IT, it needs to be 2C, internet connection. And then 2C.
Internet connection.
Yes. Cassie, did you put out there somewhere Halloween?
I did.
Yeah, trick or treat on
Where at?
Parks G. That one you're looking at? Park on this side?
So that'll be E.
Yeah, it seems like it's on this, but it's
It's
not on the
not
one
on this.
online. I don't think it got updated.
So E,
Yeah, E.
trick or treat?
Yeah.
Oh, we're not thinking about fall already, are
You're
we? Anybody else have any changes?
I don't see anything in here about our Memorial Day service that's coming up here at the end of May. I would want John to
Could you see?
let us know what's going on.
So that'll be.
Where would that be at?
New Business Cemetery, Memorial Day?
Yeah.
Mike, did we need to add
Just
something
an
about?
update on what we got planned so far.
Didn't we need to add something about the library under admin? I don't see that on there.
Oh, it's not there? Okay, we're going to have a,
2B.
that will be library. Okay, you all good? Okay, so I'm gonna make the motion that we have, we're adding to the agenda under admin, it's gonna be A, change of meeting time. Or meeting time and date. B, library. Under park and recs, it'll be E, trick or treat. And under information and technology, it will be C, internet connection. And under cemetery, under new business, it'll be Memorial Day
Memorial Day.
update. Okay, I just need a second.
Second.
All those in favor, Mike?
Yes,
Sue?
Yes.
Motion passed.
thank you. I am going to make a motion that we approve the purchase orders.
Second.
All those in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Okay, and then so I'm going to make a motion that I review and sign the warrants.
Second.
All those in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Okay, and now is the time for public comments and questions. You guys know the routine. Howdy.
Hi, Mike, how you doing?
Good.
Haven't seen you guys in a while. Dave Durnan, 1511.
Oh, what's your name, sir?
Dave Durnan, 1511 Countryside Drive, Portage Commons. Today's my birthday too.
Happy birthday.
39.
It's all good.
Do you spell your last name?
Last name?
Yeah, no, I just need to know how to spell your last name.
Durnan. I thought so. Okay, I've actually I got two things going on, not just one. I mean, I know you're gonna say, yeah, he's here to complain about his monthly, but I'll get to that. I wanna better understand the inflow of money coming in from the JED.
I can tell you that.
I tried to listen to the minutes I couldn't understand where everything was.
I tried to explain it, I
I
didn't.
know, but it went all over my head.
See the JED, when we created them, gosh, 22 years ago.
22 years.
See, when I would be up at the town hall and I'd constantly see a stream of people coming from Talmadge Kent with annexation petitions. So the one way we met Al Schrader and he helped us put this together because the first JED was actually, I'm pretty sure it was Akron and Springfield.
Tyler Roman.
Right, it was
Schrader.
It was a terrible JED. All they got was water and some fields, some baseball fields, and Akron took all the money.
Yeah.
So we were able to put this vehicle together where, you see, there's a thing called reciprocity. So say Roy lives in Cuyahoga Falls, but he works in Brimfield. So Cuyahoga Falls would find out about that and they would take they could get his 2% that he's not paying here, and then that would go fund their coffers. So the whole thinking was that we could create this JED, we could bring this revenue stream in. So long story short, a great guy, Neil Sackett from Carter Lumber. I mean, we were going back and forth. I was afraid they were going to throw donuts at me. It was hostile because nobody wanted to pay any taxes. But I understand that because they had paid no employee taxes for all those years. So Neil understood the ramifications of annexation like I did, and he saw that this was a great opportunity to stop losing Brimfield. Because once you go a certain amount underneath your 25 miles of a township, you no longer become the township. Then you're pulled in by Kent and you're pulled in by Townsend, two nearest cities to you. So what Neil did, he came up with a great formula. We would start the JEDs at 0.25%. And there's so many different dates, they would eventually reach the 2%. And so I think we're coming up.
25.
Yeah, we're coming up to eventually becoming the full 2%. So this gave all the employers who hadn't been used to paying this and employees time to get on board. So what we did was we created the JEDs, and it was a 45-55 split, 55% to the cities, 45 to us, which I would not agree on. So what we did was we created an M&I fund. So Talmadge and Kent kicked back 5% of their 55 to us to manage it for the JEDs.
Okay.
So it made it a 50-50 split.
We put 5% into.
Yeah, so, and that's for stuff that just is to improve the JEDs. And the way I had the JEDs put up, and Sue was on the board with me, we did this together, the entire township is a JED. You know, say your allotment someday decides they want to put a big industrial thing there. That's already in the JED. That would be the Talmadge JED. So they don't have to go. But the big thing is these JEDs gave us 200 years of freedom from annexation.
Okay.
So I think that'll take care of our life. And you know, then they'll have to renew them. But, you know, just this year from the Talmadge JED, correct me if I'm wrong, we have projections of $1.4 million coming into this township.
Right, and that's what, you know.
That's just one JED.
Yeah, this is one of your Facebook posts back in early March. You know, as a taxpayer, myself, the levies thing, you'll sack it. Now in 2023, Brimfield share of JED was 1.4 million, 45,000 from Kent. So this is all new money coming into Brimfield that we didn't have before.
Right, it keeps going up. And the one thing when we did this, we passed a motion that the money that comes in from the JEDs, 30% goes to. And we did that because we understood how departments, you know, as we grow, they need more people, they need more supplies. So now and the township only takes 10% of that. I mean, the administration, the general fund.
Right, I see that.
See, our whole thing is we're trying.
Yeah.
I mean, the bad thing about a township, you know, is it's a levy-based government.
Correct.
And if we can find revenue streams to not have to go back to the voters for everything we need. Right. Because we're going through growing pains right now.
Oh, no kidding.
I mean, and I talk to a lot of older people, I'm getting there, and enough is enough. They've had enough taxes.
Well, and I think the problem, you know, from my standpoint, I mean, I've lived in Brimfield since 2005, okay? Prior to that, I lived in Southfield, so I was in a township before, same issues, smaller. But when I moved into Portage Commons, I know we passed a big school levy that had been ignored for years and years and years. My taxes, when I moved in, were $4,100 a year, which is very reasonable. You know, they're nice homes. Most of them are nice homes back there. And now I'm at just shy of $7,500. So, but the thing of it is, I live in Brimfield Township, with the idea of having low taxes, which really I don't anymore. But at the same time, my services, in my view, my perception, my services are less. reason I say that is that I had a discussion last week, 2 weeks ago, with a fellow from Portage County Engineer's Office. His name is Mike Collins.
Right, good person.
Yeah, he's from Brimfield, I found out. And I wanted some history on Portage Commons, and he kind of dropped the truth bomb on me that now I'm starting to really understand better. When that development was approved by Portage County Engineer back in 1999, 2000, it would not be approved today.
Right.
Because of topography. It's a bowl. They build within a bowl. Consequently, he also told me that normal wear and tear on a development roads, typically in northeastern Ohio, is about, maybe 14 years, okay? Keep in mind, the developer put that road in originally, much older, originally. Nobody ever came back to redo that thing though, okay? And since then, we have spots that are sinking, spalling. I brought you pictures back in September, and you said you look at them, get back to me, and I pestered you with a few emails here and there. And
Where are you emailing me to? My government?
Might be.
Yeah, I'm just not getting stuff.
Well, I mean, I've got a trail of emails. I did get some responses. I appreciate that.
You gotta just call me.
Okay. Well,
You can call me anytime.
Okay. So what I'm trying to do, I guess, is that now I know that the doggone development shouldn't have been put in there in the first place, basically.
Well, we've had,
Over here.
I mean, Dave will tell you, we have a lot of problems like that because
Yeah.
the way it was done back then versus now is 100% different.
Yeah.
Because now we actually hire people on the jobs that sit there and watch. I mean, I'm not saying yours is, but some of those places, when they're filling those roads and they're just putting crap under them. They want them to look good so they can sell lots, and then they're done.
Exactly. And by the way, originally, Mossholer wanted to put about 100 houses in there with smaller lots with ditches. The engineer's office told them, no way, Jose, not doing it. So he made bigger lots, okay? Like most of them are acre lots back there with ditches, and that did pass. No storm sewer stuff. And we do have water issues.
It's about 15 till now, and I just wondered if maybe this subject should be discussed with the liaison or whatever to see what is going on more so, because there isn't anything I can see that we could do instantly today on this other than sit here and listen, and I just don't have time to sit.
We'll give you a couple of minutes to just wrap it up, but you got my phone number, right?
Yeah, I do, but I did get an email, and I had spoken today, last year, probably around July, August or something. I was told that there's 2 developments that are in consideration for new roads, Portage Commons and King Ridge.
Mm-hmm.
Correct? You know that. I also talked to John about American Rescue Funds and where they were gonna be. This is why I keep going back to finances, because this is all intertwined. I understand if you don't have money, you can't do it. I mean, I'm a businessman myself. I get all that. But my perception is when I see all this new money coming in and the amount of taxes I'm currently paying and what I'm getting for it, okay, that rubs me wrong. I also took a look at King Ridge. I drove through the development 4 different times with 4 or 5 different neighbors. There's no way those roads should come ahead of our roads being done. I'm sorry. Objectively speaking, it's not even close. Is there any way we can get an independent assessment of these 2 developments?
We had can't remember what their name was. GPD come through.
Okay.
And they assessed things, and Portage Commons actually was a lot lower than a lot of the other allotments.
Correct.
So when they came through, we had them do that about 5 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago. And we're kind of following their assessment of going that way. And I mean, I know your road's got holes and I know it's got cracks. It's pretty much all my allotments are that way because they weren't built right.
Correct.
King Ridge though, we've done a lot of major fixing in King Ridge and this and that on the side. So our side of it is falling apart worse than what your road is. because we're spending a lot more time fixing things in King Ridge. We've had some major dips in King Ridge.
Yeah.
We've had road slides where the top piece is sliding off the bottom, off the base and that stuff. So
Okay.
that's why I was evaluated ahead of yours.
Okay.
I explained before,
Yeah.
it's not that, trust me, if I had the money to handle everybody's allotments, because
No, I get all that. So what I'm saying is, I'm not trying to denigrate King Ridge in any shape, way, or fashion. They need roads too.
right,
But objectively speaking, okay, if you drive through these two developments today, not knowing anything, you've never been through either one of them, there is absolutely no way that you would come to the conclusion that King Ridge should get new roads over Portage Commons.
well, then the people from Beach Crest allotment can come say the same thing. Everybody wants their roads fixed. I understand.
Yeah.
We only have so much of
Do
a
we
budget
have
to
the
fix.
money?
Well, I can tell you this, from a money
Okay.
perspective, the JED proceeds that we're talking about, those go into Dave's budget for the roads. He gets 30%.
30%.
And then out of his entire budget, that's included as part of it. We go through all the things that need to be taken care of in his list of road projects and all that. So that extra money is added right into Dave's, so we can do additional road stuff. Same with police and fire, personnel and vehicles.
Can that ratio be altered?
No, because now you're gonna have police say that road got 50% and the police didn't get enough, and that's part of their budget
I'm
as
not
well.
trying to bore anybody's ox here. All I'm saying is that we have an immediate need. We have sewer caps that are 3 inches above road grade. Okay, we have corners that are a disaster. We have major water rushing down in these big storms and these. And by the way, some of these people covered up those open ditches in there.
And that was,
And if one of those things clog up down there at that intersection, nobody's gonna get in and out of that neighborhood.
well, some of that was done through the engineer's office, down on the main ones.
Right.
And then there are some people that snuck them in before my time, so
Right. I
I can't go back and fight a grandfather thing it's in.
Okay,
Yeah,
we're gonna have to, we gotta get into this meeting, but I
okay.
appreciate your comment. I don't know if you have my cell number, my personal
I'll
one.
take it.
I just wanna make sure you have it.
Sure.
I hate these dang emails. I wish you'd call me.
Okay, I can't understand.
I'm gonna do, like I said, I'm gonna drive around both, but when it comes to what roads we do, I have to leave it to the professional. I can tell Dave how to cook eggs, but I
Okay.
can't tell him how to do the
I
roads.
wasn't gonna do this, okay, I'm gonna throw one more sharp edge into this, okay? And again, this is the reason I want an independent assessment of the roads. You are aware that the Portage County engineer lives in King Ridge.
That don't matter.
I understand.
Don't throw that kind of shit under the bus. I'm not gonna go there anymore. I've already explained this to you 3 times, and now we're gonna come to this. I'm not going, he has nothing to do with nothing, nobody does.
Well, I know,
And he doesn't try to influence anybody. He's just,
okay,
you
I'm
know,
just saying, but it.
I mean,
it has-
Dave is nothing but above the board.
It has an appearance of.
You're taking it as an appearance that way. I don't care who lives in what allotment, what kind of money you make or anything. Your house is your house. I don't care if this person has a $50,000 house, their road's worse. I'm gonna take care of it. I don't worry about that kind of
Okay.
crap.
All right.
So
Okay.
that's,
Well, I appreciate you coming tonight. I'll do some driving, but like you said, we did have an assessment, right?
well, GPD looked at this stuff 5 years ago. I gave them all of our allotments and they went through. We paid for them to look at it.
So David, is King Ridge gonna get new roads this summer?
I'm still waiting for the engineer's
Okay.
pricing to come back. That's what I explained to you too.
Yeah,
If the numbers are too high, then I'm gonna switch things around. But as of right now,
so it would be so Portage Commons would be a cheaper development to do. Would you agree with that or not?
well, it would, yes, the mileage is not the same.
Right.
So it all is right now. So.
So that's what I'm saying. I mean, if that's the choice, then our roads are every bit as bad and it's cheaper, it would make sense to me to just to do Portage Commons. But,
Okay.
all right,
Well, thank you.
you're welcome, thanks, Mike.
Dave, if you ever want to come into the fiscal office, either look at any of that stuff, you're more than welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's all public
All
record.
right, thanks, everybody.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. Bye.
Okay, do we have any, Bill, anything?
Thanks, go ahead.
Okay, You're welcome, Tom. Okay. Do we have any safety concerns? Dave, I think that was, it seems like another tree is sort of hanging low on Sherman, but it looks, it's off the road right away, we can't do anything.
No, if it's off the road right away, I can't touch it.
This afternoon, they take care of it. Or should they come back?
Okay. Yeah, I mean, Dave said we're gonna have some crazy weather today, so they're gonna be out there with chainsaws sharpening. God, no one's gonna be looking for fire.
In my opinion, when we have a guest that knows full well they're going to just be yakking more than 5 minutes, they should ask to be specifically put on the agenda by itself and consider having a 10-minute to a 15-minute maximum of what, because we have so much here to go through today that I just think it's an inconvenience for our board to have that.
Yeah, it's just so hard to know how much they're gonna talk about, you know?
Well, they know.
Yeah. You know what I mean, but, you know, I don't know, maybe we need to explain it a little bit
We
better.
need to, maybe when we open up the meeting, we should explain it each time.
Or even put a post on.
Maybe we put a
Put a
new
post
sign,
somewhere.
maybe we put a sign in the new
Put
building
a big sign back
that
here on the wall.
says,
Okay.
non-meeting agenda, 5-minute time limit. I mean, like, those.
Why not put a sign in here?
Sure.
So we have it.
I just put it here when we're moving over there soon.
Well, we can always move it. You know, man. Okay, well, there's no more safety, you have any safety concerns? Okay, let's get into the police department.
My meeting was to swear in the officers, I don't have any other information for you.
Oh, man, that's great, thank you. Okay, fire department.
Fire department, we have 432 calls currently for this year. Past 2 weeks of events, station build, drywall, painting, outdoor pole light bases are being set, electrical rooms, the main things that are going on. There was some roof damage that happened through the storm. John and I have discussed and looked at videos on that, and we will go from there on how we proceed. John, the roofer guy did show up today.
Okay.
Was that corner part I was telling you about?
That was on the top.
Did anybody say about that corner post?
Like I told you before, they came out and said that it's fine.
Did you see it, the one I was telling you about?
The corner post, oh, on the,
Yeah, it's this roof right here, it's this part right here, it's all
That's
hanging off.
I didn't look, I'll look at it and I apologize, I didn't.
I can't believe they tell you there's nothing they can do to that.
Yeah, they came out and set a pole and said that it was tight, but
I'll take a picture, John, I'll send you.
usable.
Just from Craig, with the meeting yesterday, we brought it up on the meeting.
Oh, okay. Good.
So Bob said it is not a warranty issue. He thinks it falls back onto the contractor still to come out and fix it.
He was there this morning.
Okay, so that part, and they're gonna fix, they didn't even know, I guess, there was a hole on the old bays that was leaking down there. They seemed real concerned about that, and they were gonna get that fixed right away, so.
So it's been dripping for months and they were aware of it.
Okay, well, is it Scott? Did Scott know?
Everything.
Well, Scott made it seem like he was gonna, he said he was gonna take care of that right away. So if it doesn't get done in the next week or so, let me know.
Okay. Yep.
Okay.
Attended a Council House Easter egg hunt at the Methodist Church. That went well. My guys were up there for that. And then we already talked about lots of storm damage, wire down calls. Just so the board knows, when we get wire down calls as the fire department, I don't think you're ever getting any calls, but we staff those calls. I don't mutuate in other townships to take care of a wire.
So it could
Someone
be,
never complained and says they're not in there at a time of interval.
you had 10 of them down
Yeah,
there.
we have 10 of them, we'll get to it when we get to it, unless it's on fire, playing against the house. We staff those. Other townships, if we're getting the weather, they're getting the same weather, so we're not wasting their resources, so. We went over that with the guys and how to handle that. We'll skip your discussion point, and I do have a board approval agenda item. We have decided on a new firefighter. You pronounce his name as Pavel Razny. He is actually from Poland. He was up until 16 years old, he lived in Poland, moved here to the United States, was an engineer, decided he hated being an engineer and wanted to be a firefighter. Throughout the process, became the #1 candidate and offered, and he accepted the job contingent upon your guys' approval. So
Okay.
I would like.
Well,
the name
I do know,
have a last name.
I do know that testing they go through is terrible. I mean, it's very, very difficult.
Right.
And for him to come in first on the testing speaks a lot for
Yeah.
his knowledge.
Yeah.
And I'd rather, I'm looking at hiring somebody who has experience and has a little bit of maturity on their side. So I am in favor of your recommendation.
Okay.
So I'd like to make that motion that we accept, how does he pronounce it?
P-A-V-O.
Okay,
I'll second that.
P-O-V-O?
Well, it's spelled P-A-W-E-L, let's say it P-A-V-O.
Okay. I just want to make sure I was writing it in there the right way.
It's on, the correct spelling is there.
Okay, all right. And he passed all background stuff and all that?
He's doing the pension physical right now, and
Okay, so
we're screening, assuming that goes through.
So we're just pending it, background?
Yep.
Search and physical.
And then I'm hoping to have him on by May.
Okay, now there's an,
We have any discussion?
That just fills our.
oh, he's already showed me in on everything, I'm comfortable with it,
Yeah, I'm good with that.
okay, all those in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Sue?
yes.
Motion passed.
And then the other thing was yours, John?
Flagpole?
Yeah, let's talk about the options that we have over there. Craig, we had, that pole is damaged and beyond repair, so we have to get rid of it one way or the other.
Yes.
So those proposals that you gave us had, and unfortunately I didn't bring it with me, and I thought I had it in my stack, the pricing on it.
There was,
I think it was 10 grand for the
well, there
one,
was
right?
4 different proposals on sizes and flag sizes, anywhere from, I believe, 12 to 17,
Mhm.
17.5, I think, right.
Well, there was
in that range.
insulation and all that as part
And
of
that
it.
would be the install, flag provided, that would not be removing the whole pole, because I figured we could just knock that over and take it out, but,
Yeah, the pole has to come down,
Can we knock that over?
the pole. Oh, you're talking to Dave.
Somebody else.
Since
No, the pole has to be taken down because the top's broken, they can't be
But don't
replaced.
you need to keep the base, right?
I don't know if that,
they would install a new, or install a new base.
anything that falls under our insurance coverage for the damage or anything
it's
like
just wear and tear, that thing, it's
Just
the
wear and
clip
tear?
that's been broken up there and they're not gonna cover that, we don't have any proof of any storm-related issues anyway.
that? Oh,
But it's not-
we just had a big storm.
It's been broken though for a long time. But anyway, we need to decide one way or the other what we're gonna do. We have to do something with the flag. So I guess what we need to do is either pick one of those options that are out there, but we have to, and this is the time to do it too, because it's all under construction there anyway.
Okay.
And then if you guys wanna move it somewhere other than where it is right now, if you wanna place it in a different spot in the front out there, I don't know. Craig, do you have any opinions on if it should be moved to a different spot in that
I
area?
like where it's at, I
Okay.
don't know if you have many options, but yeah, if you want to move it, now's the time.
Well, how far, and I can't remember how far it is behind the sign. 15 feet, 20
it's-
feet,
No, it's pretty close to the sign.
is it?
Yeah.
Well, just-
It's in a good spot.
Just the other thing, I mean, that is Cassie's park.
No.
You know, it's little, I mean, she
That's true.
needs to weigh in on that.
Well, in my opinion, again, since it's one person's opinion on the board, the location where it is now, when you come to the center, you see the flag, and that makes you think, well, boy, I've met something here that's being honored. And I'm of the opinion that it should stay right in the same location where it is.
And Craig, I appreciate you looking into the flag and all that stuff,
Yep.
but technically that is Park and Rec, so just for future reference, it has to go through Cassidy, because that's not
I
fire
was
department.
just bringing it to the board.
Yeah,
I
we
mean,
need
it's
to,
just,
Oh, don't apologize.
No, he
Don't
just-
apologize.
Yeah, you looked into it, that's good.
I mean, just for future.
Yeah.
well, and that might have been me too, because we knew it was broken and
So,
Because they put the flag up all the
I
time.
mean, I think John and I talked about this yesterday, and, I mean, this is just one trustee. It's not, I think we replace the existing signs we have, because that's the lowest cost. I mean, that's a big pole.
But it
I mean, we're not a car dealership. You
takes a big flag on that
We
too.
sure don't need to be spending extra money to be higher than one of the car dealerships, so that's, I mean, so I guess I will make a motion. I mean, Cassie, what do you want to say?
Oh, no, that's fine.
Somebody will probably have to take the pole down.
Yeah.
Cause I don't wanna mess up and drop it on Craig's new station.
Oh, I know, and then you got the gazebo, and then you're gonna drop it on the 43.
Well, but is that part of their proposal, Craig? That they take down the pole?
No.
Okay.
So do we now wait to find out if we get a price and take the pole down? Because we really
You don't
don't
want to
have.
take it down?
Nope, I don't wanna touch it, cause I know all it takes is it to go the wrong way. I mean, that ain't a short pole.
Okay, why, I'm thinking that we need to drop back, and you wanna pass that stuff to Cassie?
Yep.
And let's get prices on taking it down, because I'm 100% with Dave. I mean, that's a big chance.
No,
And our luck, it's gonna fall on either the gazebo or the new station. Right? Or the statue. And it's already missing one arm. So there isn't any motion, so we're just going to.
This is the discussion to bring back.
So we just need the cost to bring down the flagpole and then we proceed with that proposal that's out there and we just get it going. Is that what we're,
Right.
okay?
Do I need a motion?
No, not yet. I would get it all and she comes back with, because we'll have the total price then.
Right, because I don't wanna, I mean, we don't know what it's gonna cost us. So,
This is probably a stupid question, but does Kunzman do that kind of stuff since they're taking trees down all the time? I don't think-
You'd have to have somebody with a lift like that. So, I mean, we could always ask him. I mean, he's taken stuff off our silos for us before. So, it's hard to say.
The guy that sets the pole would probably take the pole down.
Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
Well, Craig, I truly appreciate you looking into it. And I know you've got a full-time job that's getting that fire station done.
You could make the motion to table it since it was on the written agenda.
Okay, well, I'm gonna make a motion that we table the decision on the flagpole.
Second,
Okay, all those in favor, Mike?
Yes,
Sue?
yes.
Motion passed.
I love these discussions.
Yes.
Okay, Craig, do you have anything else?
No,
Okay. Let's see, now we go into admin. Okay. John, the next meeting, which is
So the 5th, it would be the 19th.
the 19th. If it's okay with you, I'd like to make a motion that we change that meeting to the Monday following.
The trustee meeting,
Yeah, so that would be,
it's 4 more days, so that would be the 23rd. All right? Let me just make sure here. So, if I can count it out.
I mean.
I'll second that for discussion.
It's the 24th, actually.
Because all we got, I definitely want to be here for a couple of these things that are going on.
Okay, so actually what we're running into is we've all been here long enough that we have so much vacation. And the vacation times, actually, we would have to adjust all of our vacations with all of our families to do all this. It's like, to me, I think it'd be easier on those times when you guys aren't going to be here or whatever on that Wednesday, that we could do it on a Monday.
Yeah, I mean, I can be here at any time on Monday.
So we're gonna change the meeting date on 4/19 to 4/25.
Right.
Or 24, I said 24,
So hopefully,
4/19.
you and Nick can get the check signed. Is that okay with all the department heads?
Yeah, it takes two signatures on a check.
It's fine, so.
Mike and Craig, they're okay?
So, well, I would
You guys
just,
are okay?
keep it at 8:00 in the morning to have something that's consistent.
Well, I'm up at 5.
What time do you want? You're gonna be here anyway.
All right, all those in favor, Mike?
Yes,
Sue?
Yes.
Motion passed.
thank you all. Mike, zoning.
Yep, thanks. Zoning commission meeting is April
Still at the
20th,
library.
7 o'clock.
Mike, you had the library yet?
Oh, sorry, Mike, sorry.
Sure.
Hey, I passed out some, Cassie and I and Dave met down at the library and went through some stuff just to get going on this a little bit more. I mean, Nick has been working on it with Charles, and I did reach out and I had a nice long conversation with Jonathan from the library. Okay, so just so everyone understands, I gave you all this, you read this, so. Okay, I contacted Chad. Okay, we own the library, the building. The stuff on the inside is owned by somebody else, and technically it's been abandoned. So as a board, we need to pass a resolution, which I have here. What this resolution does is we are then able to dispose of the stuff, because I mean, there was talk of us getting a big dumpster and just throwing all the stuff away. But there's too much viable stuff in there that people can use. So I contacted, his name's Mark from Family Community Services. And they are in the position, if we pass this resolution, that they can come and pick all the stuff up and put it in one of their warehouses. And not only Brimfield, it will go to all Portage County for the people in need. I mean, we could have a red tag sale, but everyone knows how that works. And at the end of the day, we're gonna be stuck with a lot of stuff that's gonna go into the dumpster. So I'm gonna read the resolution, and then you second it, and then we can discuss it, okay? Okay, whereas in August 2022, the township purchased the real estate property of 42860 Castle Drive in the township. Whereas the prior use of the property was a child daycare and preschool, and many of the furniture and equipment associated with that was abandoned and left at the property by the prior owner. Whereas such furniture and equipment was not included in the purchase price for the property, and the township participated and only purchased the real property. Whereas the township does not consider such furniture and equipment to be abandoned by the prior owner and not township property. And now therefore be it resolved by the Brimfield Township Board of Trustees that the child daycare and preschool furniture and equipment abandoned by the prior owner of the property that the township purchased at 42860 Castle Drive was not part of the purchase. It is not property the township can use and is not township property. The Parks Department and Service Department shall use their best effort to dispose of such furniture and equipment, both in and outside the building at 4286 Castle Drive, by charitable donation to Family and Community Services or other public or charitable organizations, so that the property can be cleaned and available for the township use as soon as practical. Any such furniture or equipment that cannot be donated or given away shall be disposed of by use of a dumpster or similar means. So that's my motion, Sue.
I'll second that. You know, I went over there and helped clean and what was abandoned, does have good use to it. We have some baby cribs over there, toys for children, and I think the family services could use that. I don't believe in yard sales because you work so hard and then everybody runs and they want to talk you down on your price, and that's a waste of time.
And then you can look at the hours you spend having township employees over there working it.
Right, there's too much payroll to go into not getting a good response from it.
Right.
So I would be in favor of passing that resolution.
I really can't see how anyone could not be in favor. I mean, I'm like you. I mean, let's let people of Portage County use this stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot better in somebody's home than it is sitting in a dumpster.
True. I'm ready for a vote.
All those in favor?
Do you have any questions?
No, I'm good with that.
Okay.
All those in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Motion passed. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, everybody.
Are you gonna coordinate all that?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so, okay, good. Mike, back to you.
Thanks. So the zoning commission meeting is April 20th at 7 o'clock. The zoning commission also will hold a public hearing. It's actually at 6:30. It's at 6:30, April 20th, for several proposed changes to districts as well as some of the text amendments. Trustees' motion will be needed to accept, reject, or modify any portion of the tax incentive review council recommendations. So Mike, you're on that board for the TIRC, and the trustees just need to formally approve the recommendations, which were to approve all
Today.
Yeah.
Yeah, I attended that meeting. I think everyone was there. I think we had someone from the township that missed it, but that's okay.
Yeah.
But we're all clear now. So I'm gonna make a motion that we approve the results of our TIF.
Second.
Was there, Mike, you handed that out at the beginning, right? My document, the Board Development Board?
Yeah, first.
Okay. Was that electronic as well?
Yeah,
Can you?
you had it before previously.
All right, I just wanted to make sure, so I can get it to Chris, I couldn't remember.
So we accepted the
Yep.
recommendation of the tax.
Portage County Development Board. All those in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thanks. Chase Bank started work, the site work next to Myers Gas Station to get the pad ready for it. And then Highway Drive Storage Facility started site work on the cul-de-sac. They're bringing new water lines down Highway Drive, so we're excited about that. Moving up the board.
I have had more questions about that moving the dirt. I just started telling people it's a small casino.
Next to the gas station.
I'm kidding.
That's in the back.
Golly, they're so excited, anything that goes in there.
Yeah, we get a lot of new gas stations.
Anything on Aldi's? That's the second question.
No recommendation.
They're very attentive to trying to hire employees,
They are,
very attentive. So I figure it has to be coming up soon.
should be.
Okay, well, thanks, Mike.
Sure.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, road department, Dave.
Alrighty, I just want to let the board know, we finally wrapped up, doing a bunch of storm damage cleanup, some trees going down and stuff. Just let everybody know, be ready again, there's gonna be a hard one hitting this afternoon. So we'll be starting up that again, getting ready to go. We finished up the Carter Pavilion, we put a inner roof on it, that way the birds ain't flying over and doing their business on the picnic tables. We did some ditch work and that kind of stuff. Also, just to let you know too, I didn't put this on the thing, but I'm going to start looking for part-timers. I'm going to put a thing out here pretty soon to see what we can come up with, some part-timers for the summer hours. And we've been talking to Western Star and Mack Trucking about a new dump truck. They're going to give me some quotes and prices in on them. Just looking into the stuff to see where we're at, pricing and how long it takes to get a truck. And I need the board's approval to pass a resolution for the 2023-2024 ODOT road salt bid contract for 1,400 ton.
Okay, now I'm gonna make a motion that we pass a resolution for the 2023-2024 ODOT road salt bid contract for 1,400 tons. I need a second for discussion.
I'll second that.
So that have they given you the price yet, or?
No, the prices won't come until after they get everybody's things in and then they bid it out.
That's what I thought. Okay.
I'd like to make a motion to amend the agenda.
Wait,
We're still on.
Oh, I'm sorry,
We're still on this one.
thinking too fast here.
Yeah. Do you have any questions on the salt?
No,
Okay.
not at all.
Okay, all those in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Okay, that's all I had for today, and thanks.
Now it's my turn.
Is it for roads?
I'd like to make a motion to add to the agenda that Davis beginning to look for part-time workers. That way it's documented that we actually talked about it today.
We can do that, but it's in his contract already, the
Oh, it is?
union contract, that certain parts of the year you're allowed to have part-timers.
And we've already budgeted and all that work.
And so I
And
don't,
that's all taken care of.
I don't think,
But I just wanted it on the agenda here that we actually talked about it today.
if you want to put it out there, we can.
I'll make a motion that we,
I'll shoot it out there.
Sue made it, I'll second it, that we talked about the part-timers.
All those in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes,
Motion passed.
just a technicality, that's all.
Okay, Dave, good luck today.
Yeah,
Where your heart is.
it's been fun these last few ones.
World is changing. Parks and Recs.
All right, I have a lot today, so I'll try to go quick. First, I'd like to request board approval for a boundary survey of McGuire Park by Campbell and Associates in the amount of $5,400. This park has some kind of funky boundaries, so we want to make sure that we get that mapped out. This does include placing line stakes every 100 feet, so we'll be able to see where the boundaries are. And we're working on getting access to the park, so it's crucial that we get this done. And also on the other side of the property, on the Talmadge side, we actually don't own part of the lake. Part of it is City of Talmadge and part of it is privately owned. So I definitely want to make sure that we get that mapped out as well.
So we probably definitely want to work out an agreement with Talmadge.
Yes, yep, that's the next step.
That's right, because when you show me the property line, so that the very left-hand side, the very left-hand side is the Talmadge part, right?
Which side?
Very left-hand side is the Talmadge part.
Yeah,
Is that
so
right,
if you're
Lorraine?
looking at it, the southeast corner is Talmadge.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go ahead and make a motion that we approve $5,400 to have McGuire Park surveyed by Campbell and Associates.
Second.
Hey, Cassidy, so, I mean, when they use those wooden poles, I think once we get those wooden poles or whatever in, we should probably put up just shoot this, maybe some permanent markers, so
Yeah.
10 years from now, they don't have to do it again.
Sure.
You know, it just seems those poles don't last very long.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and that's great before we start developing it too much. And who knows, we'll be in somebody's backyard and they're gonna have a trail going through it, so.
Yeah.
So, okay. Sue, you have anything?
All those in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Motion passed.
And I'd like to put it out there too, if anybody ever wants to see that park, it's absolutely beautiful and I'm happy to go hike it with you.
You haven't really told anybody yet that you're in May?
Oh, yeah, we're gonna be doing a preview hike. I believe that's May 25th. We'll be doing a preview hike for the community, so that'll be fun.
They really thought about this. I think they're gonna do it in smaller groups.
Mhm.
And have time slots, so.
Yeah, we imagine there'll be some interest there, so
So John, you and I can get some four-wheelers.
that's after.
You're bad with this, there's not an injury on your leg.
Yeah, I know that. Oh, I respect woods now. Okay.
All right, the next item is the Messner Acres barn demo and scrap cleanup quotes. This was on my agenda last time, but I wasn't here, so I wanted to table it because I wanted to go over these with you. So you should have both quotes in front of you. I did have to add a page, I forgot. There was like a teeny little bit that got cut off that just happened to have the price on it, so it was kind of important, so that should be in there. So I got two quotes, one from Hank Roberts and one from Helmling Excavating. And as you can see, they are pretty far apart in price. I spoke to both Trey and Hank about their plans, and they both have different ways that they like to go about it and different crew sizes. So I think that's where the difference in price comes from. So I think because of the stark difference in price, I would like to go with Helmling Excavating in the amount of $19,500. And I wanted to say that this is something, for those who don't know, the barn at Messner Acres is about to collapse. It has been for a while, and it's been on my list since I started here, so it definitely.
So will he, are they gonna be reseeding and stuff?
Yes, yeah, I did talk to Trey about that, and he did say that he would do that, so.
You talked to John, right?
Yes.
And they're taking all the tires and they're getting rid of all that stuff back there, so we don't have to
Yeah,
worry
so,
about it.
yeah, this isn't just barn demo. This includes, I don't know if you guys remember, but there's a couple outbuildings out there. This will take care of that as well. So it's barn demo, cleaning up all the scrap, filling in the post holes, getting some debris, and then cleaning up approximately 100 tires. So this will get us really a lot closer to opening the park,
Maybe we'll take care of some of the mosquito problems.
hopefully, yes.
Okay, well, I'm gonna make a motion that we accept the bid from Elmley Excavating for the barn demolition cleanup and demolishing existing barn, remove all demolition materials, fill post holes, bury beams, and then block frame on right side of the country slab, remove scrap debris from areas surrounding the barn, surrounding block building, small building, and southern property corner. Remove approximately 100 tires to approve dispersal area, and then it will include reseeding and okay, and so that's it. I just need a second.
Second,
All those in favor, Mike?
Yes,
Sue?
yes.
Motion passed.
and Cassie did her due diligence. You got us too?
Yep.
Yes.
Well, that's a big difference.
Yeah, and Dave and I met both Trey Hillman and Hank Roberts out there and went over everything that we wanted, so.
37,000 versus 19,500.
Yeah.
That's where we shop around.
I think Hank works with a smaller operation and Trey has a whole crew and it's just,
Any idea when they would start?
soon. He seemed like he wanted to start very soon, so
Okay, good.
hopefully we can find a day where it's not so mucky out there.
Hey, will you drive by and check out?
Yep.
No, they do a pretty good job for the most part.
Trey's real good.
I've been over there and toured that entire site. There's a lot of work there. It's-
Just getting rid of those tires is a lot of work, right? I mean, you gotta be careful how you get rid of them. But just so, they know that's a conservancy area, so we have to be careful what we do we have to do it the right way,
Yes,
so. Okay,
thank you. My next item is the NOPEC community event grants. We had 3 applicants this time. We had the Brimfield Historical Society. Hi, how are you? For the movie night. We had the Brimfield Lions Club for Brimfest. They were looking to get money for candy and other things for Brimfest. And then the other one was the Hill Church was looking to have a chili cook-off event, which is a new event they haven't done before. And that was going to be a Saturday in October at some point. So after reviewing all of these, my recommendation would be to go with the Hill Church, because it is a new event that we haven't sponsored before. That being said, the other 2 events the township can help with. So if you want to do a movie night, we can talk about a movie night. We actually already had one planned for the summer anyway, so we can co-host. So my recommendation would be to go with the Hill Church's event.
I have a question here.
Sure.
With the, I believe it's what, $1,500 that they give?
Yes.
With the Hill Church, it says here, what organization provides community programs or events.
Mhm.
So he says yes, which is true. They do the back to school bash, bonfires, Easter events, and the Christmas play. He's got like 4 different spots that this $1,500 would go to. And I don't know if the grant is for a one-time shot or if the grant is for 4 different types of events.
I believe the 4 different events that they mentioned, the back to school bash, that's just examples of things that they already provide to the community. But if you go on to the next page, it describes the Brimfield Sweet Corn Family Fest and Community Chili Cook-Off. And I think that's the event that they are wanting the $1,500 for.
Well, here on the back page here, they're talking about a Brimfield Sweet Corn Family Fest and Community Chili Cook-Off. which should be sometime on a Saturday in October,
Yes.
this type of event here would be for everybody in the community. It wouldn't just be a certain graphic people that would be interested. It would be more to include more people for that 1,500.
Yeah.
I think it's like their big outreach into the community,
Yeah.
and I think they have pretty good numbers, don't
Yep, and they've helped out with a lot of our events too. They come to Brimfest, they come to Trunk or Treat, the Hometown Christmas, so.
they? Okay, well, I can make a motion for discussion that we approve the Hill Church for the NOPEC grants for their Brimfield Sweet Corn Family Fest and Community Chili Cook-Off 2023.
Second.
What's your thoughts?
Do what?
What's your thoughts? Anything else?
My thoughts? Well, I do know the Kelso House has been awarded this 1,500 in the past for a couple, what was it, 2 years? Two or three maybe. So they have been able to benefit from this grant. And so, yeah, I'm in good shape.
Okay, all those in favor? Mike?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Motion passed.
And then John, I'll take care of uploading that to the NOPEC site and everything.
Okay.
Oh, and also we're all invited. It specifically says all the departments in the township are invited to throw down at the Chili Fest, so I will be there.
Well, I love corn.
And corn, yes. So that'll be fun.
Okay.
All right. So my next item is town center fields. We kind of went over a lot of that with Tom. I did want to discuss the pavilion. I know we had talked about possibly foregoing the pavilion for now. That would kind of solve a lot of issues right now. I know we're having an issue with the fireworks launching, and also it would give Tom a little bit of room to have more field space. So the issue now is that as of right now, they're able to fit 3 of their larger fields in the field as it sits. If we put in the parking lot and the pavilion, he was worried that he might not even be able to get 2. If we did remove the pavilion, he could comfortably at least get 2 fields in there. And we already do have several pavilions for rent. And I personally think that money could be better spent improving the community center. I know we had discussed that already. We have some exterior work that needs done. Our siding is in need of repair. We have some issues with the overhang here, and I know we were also talking about finally installing a deck here. So that would be my recommendation.
Okay, I'm gonna make a motion that we table community center.
Or
Or
pavilion.
Pavilion.
How would you use?
You want to table
Well, we just don't have to pass a resolution to go forward with it.
Right.
So we really don't need a resolution.
you need a resolution to start the project. If you don't start the project, you don't need to
Right.
put anything out there.
Start what, well, we want to get the,
Yeah, we could start the project for approve the parking lot, but you just don't have to. approve
Right.
the pavilion if you didn't want to do that.
okay, because, I know we have money outlaid for the building.
Mhm.
So, I know Craig had mentioned possibly putting a pavilion in your town green. So it's not like we're losing money because, after what Cassie looked into and what we met with Charles, those pavilions are the kind you want to build from
Yes.
now on. So we have, we have the plans ready to go.
Mhm.
It just makes sense. We have a gem here, but we don't have the money to finish.
Right.
Let's finish this instead of starting all these fires everywhere elsewhere. Let's just get one done.
Right. And that's not to say that we can't put a pavilion in later or
Right.
another shelter of some sort, but.
And then just when I'm looking at this diagram, maybe we should talk to Tom. If we would change some of the fencing and move it different ways, he might be able to get 3 fields in there.
Yep.
That's just, maybe that's something you could suggest to Tom.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna make a motion that we proceed with the project for, well, we don't even have a price.
The parking lot.
Yeah, for the parking.
We just need to go and have, Charles still has to bid that out.
Okay,
So
so
we
we can,
could suggest that we could make a motion to start the process to bid out the parking lot.
right, okay, I'm gonna make a motion that we start the process to bid out the parking lot.
Second.
All those in favor, Mike?
Yes,
Sue?
Yes.
Motion passes.
and so then somehow we gotta get copies of the drawings that we have so far, so you can have them, so when we are ready to pull the trigger on our next shelter, we have it.
Yep.
So, Cassie, I like your thinking, I'm just seeing it, I mean, because that'll make them happy.
Yeah.
And I'm just, God, we have so many shelters, like you said already.
Sure, yep. Yeah. And Charles had a good suggestion too, if we ever did want to build a pavilion, we could fit one on the northeast corner of the property, like north of the parking lot. If we move the restrooms, the proposed restrooms, there is some room to have one there, so just something for the future to consider.
Okay.
What do we call that building?
Just town center fields.
Yeah, I'm looking at that container, we might, I don't know, we'll wait to hear from them, moving that container would be, because they definitely need it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, real quick, past programs, on the 23rd, we did an amphibian hike here. It was fantastic. We saw frogs and salamanders, and it was really, really awesome. Upcoming programs, we have a Ohio Baby Animals program this Friday, which is Good Friday, so field schools are off from 10 to 11 here at the community center. And then on the 22nd, we have a plant swap here at the community center from 9 to 12. And then I had one more item for the board. I know it's super early, but I wanted to see if we could choose a date for trick or treat. I got a call yesterday from the Brimfield Lake Homeowners Association, and they plan their events around our events. So they asked if we had a date for trick or treat, and I said no, but there's no reason we can't set it now. So
Any suggestions?
yeah, we were looking at Saturday, October 28th from 5 to 7, if that sounds good with everyone.
Okay, I'm gonna make a motion that we approve Saturday, the 28th of October, trick or treat.
And the time?
5 to 7 is generally
5 to
really
7.
good.
I'll second that.
I can add to that, we had it on Sundays before from 2 to 4, but my neighborhood loves the 5 to 7. It actually becomes a real nice neighborhood community thing where everybody starts fires in their driveways, and it's just nice, and it's just, I think doing it on the Saturday is the best time to do it. So I just wanted to let you know that we enjoy it.
Yeah, I heard the same thing from my son. So,
Well, it becomes more of just trick or treat. It becomes trick or treat with the whole neighborhood kind of having a little party at the same time. So it's kind of fun.
I went over there and helped my wife help pass out candy. It's amazing how all the neighbors out talking to each other. It is a great community event, you know? So that's how it should be.
All right, all those in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Motion passed.
All right, thank you. That concludes
That's all
my
you got,
report.
Cassie?
That's all I have. Is that enough?
Okay, Joe.
Okay, I have implemented a email archiving and spam and phishing filter for the township email. Still tweaking the spam and phishing filter. It's some of those things that, it's an AI-based engine, so it takes some time for it to learn what's a good email and what's a bad email. The system does send a nightly report of emails that got marked and does allow each individual user to, to adjust the rules. So if it blocks something, once you get that report, you can say allow it, and it will learn from that and start allowing those similar emails. But it is, something that is necessary to protect us. It also has the advantage of it is doing some link checking and viruses. So when someone sends you a link to another website, this is going to actually go to that website first, make sure it's an okay website, before it allows the email through. If the link is suspicious, it will actually block the link. So it won't allow you to click on it. And then it checks any file attachments for viruses. So it's just a precaution to have in front of our email to hopefully protect us from bad actors. The big thing that I want to bring up is I would like to go ahead and get a board approval to move forward with the website. I know it's a bit of an expense, but it's also something that is necessary to keep their website going. I know I've had a lot of feedback on our current site isn't very functional and it's hard to maintain. We have a lot of plugins that aren't working for us. So I would like to move forward with Civic Plus.
Okay, now what was the cost?
The cost for Civic Plus was, turn on here. It is going to be year one. It has a cost of $36,155, and ongoing annual cost will be $8,377.
$8,377.
Yes, that includes a optional $2,500 what they call a 48-month renew. So we're prepaying for development costs at today's rates to refresh the website every 48 months. So if we want, we can cut that cost down by $2,000 if we don't want to prepay for a refresh every 48 months.
Okay, I'm gonna make a motion for this so we can all talk about it.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna make a motion that we approve Joe's request for updating our website. Cost not to exceed, how do you want that, John? Both of them together?
$45,000.
Not to exceed $45,000.
Okay.
So I'll just need a second for discussion.
Second.
Okay. So what kind of mileage can we get out of this website? How long will it be? And I didn't name the vendor.
Civic Plus.
Civic Plus. So Civic Plus is more than just a website. It's also town management. So it is taking our website and expanded it into the next thing. So this is an application that's used by our neighbors. Actually, the Portage County uses Civic Plus. The city of Talmadge, the city of Kent, a lot of major cities also in Ohio are using Civic Plus. So it is something that is very functional. But it has things like agenda management. So right now we're using Dropbox and Word for all of the department heads to, create our agendas for these meetings. We'd have the ability to do that inside of this website. We could create online forms that our citizens can use to fill out to, request things like, possibly zoning or requests from fire and police. So it does more than just a website. It's a city and town management application, which is why it has such a hefty price.
So all department heads could use it?
Yes, yeah, it has a lot of functionality that we can take advantage of. Road department can continue using their napkins and etch a sketch, but
But it takes us away from the old fashioned website.
it is giving us the ability to do some more modern things. It has a really nice reservation system that Parks is going to be able to utilize. And I believe, Cassie, you said you've had some experience with that.
Yep.
And there's some growth in the past, in the future. There's an entire module that can allow us to send out notifications to citizens. So there's things that we can use it for in the future also. So it's got a lot of growth potential.
Actually, sorry.
Go ahead.
Let's change that from 45,000 to 47, because that's year one. 37.
Yeah.
That 8,000 was the following year.
Yeah, that's going to be ongoing.
Okay,
So we only need 37.
right.
All right. I can change it. Yep.
Okay, so you said it's a 6-month bill?
6 to 8 months is what they're saying on the build. So that's one reason why I wanted to. And that was also regardless of the vendor. Most vendors I've talked to, even just doing a straight website, it's a several month, process. So even if we were to pick the other two vendors I had that I got quotes from are from WordPress themselves and from Ativan. Both of them are very similarly priced. For your year one, the rest of them have a less year two cost, but most of the development in year one is very similar. So it's not, Civic Plus isn't charging a lot more than just having a straight website.
Right. So, I mean, with Darlene and Trustee here, I don't know if you've met them.
I haven't yet,
They
but I would like
they
to.
run the council house.
Yes.
Beware of
So,
Beware of them.
you know, per Chad, our township attorney, you know, we are allowed to assist the council house.
Yes.
Historical. So would you be able to actually put, you know, part for council house on there?
Yes. Where we would want to, and I believe it's an $800 charge. If, like, right now, we're for the township, we actually have two separate pages. We have the police department and we have the township. They're gonna, with Civic Plus, they'll be under one umbrella, but we're paying an additional cost for the police department to have their own branding when they first go. So when someone goes to brimfieldpolice.com, it will take them directly to the police department's page with the police department's color scheme, similar to what they have. So we could also do that with the council house. We could have someone go to, I'm assuming you have your own website today, council house, historic, whatever. I apologize. I don't know off the top of my head, but you have.
Brimfield Historical.
Yes. Right. We would have to, if we want them to have their own page under ours with their own theoretical branding that someone would be able to access directly, there would be a one-time setup charge for that. But it would still be in the same main site that you'd be able to link through the header to say, okay, I'm on the historic site, but I want to bounce in and do Parks and Rec or police, fire, one of the other areas. So yes, you could do that. It would just be a one-time branding fee is what they call it.
Right. But I mean, you'll be updating it?
Yeah, with the idea would be is the department heads would keep, you know, the ones that are already doing their pages would continue having access to that.
Okay.
So Parks and Rec would still have access. Yeah, and you have the ability to delegate access. So Parks and Rec would only be able to update the Parks and Rec page if you know, so being police would have police, fire would have fire. I would have access to everything. So if, you know, they weren't able to do it or they don't have that manpower and they still need a change done, I can do that. But it also allows, you know, that way Cassie doesn't go rogue and blow away the police department site.
So when Todd Pease is done with our historical society, it could be put on there.
Yeah, and then, yeah, they would have access to their page to do updates if they want to,
So
without having to
just
worry
one
about
big
them.
integrated. So I know you've kept me informed and I've talked to you about it. And I know everyone, all the trustees have got the information?
I shared all the quotes with all the trustees, actually on two different occasions, because we attempted to bring this up last meeting and, you know, we had to table it, so that the quotes were provided then, and I've also emailed the quotes, to the trustees to let them know.
So all the trustees have got the information.
Yes, I've made an effort to speak to
more
them.
than enough opportunity to talk to you.
Yes.
So, okay. Do you have any questions, Sue?
Well, the one thing I'm thinking about is that since we are growing and we know we're going to continue to grow, that if we, now when we can possibly implement this, I'm looking at the future more so. I wouldn't want to wait another 5 years when technology has changed so much and we're even more antiquated at that point. And it would probably be even more expensive to get us updated and everything. I'm just tossing this all around in my head here for a few minutes. But I realize that it is a lot of money up front. But it's a lot of money for Civic Plus or WordPress or the Advent. It's a lot of money, but that's computer stuff. And it is expensive. So I'm thinking at trying to limit my cost at this point instead of looking at it 5 years down the road and then seeing what the cost would be.
Right.
And I've had, in the last 2 months, I've had 2 instances where I received spam. And I don't know if that's a weakness within the system that we have now. But it really raises the bar for us to get in there and fight with what we can fight with. I'm concerned about, John, where's the money gonna come from?
I'm just mentioning, like, while you were talking, this is a valid art fund purchase. Modernization of cybersecurity, including hardware, software, and protection of critical infrastructure. So this actually could be paid out of the art money. We did have art money set aside for the paving projects at the police and the library, for the acquisition of cemetery land, for the building of a parking lot and a pavilion over at the complex. But we still had money left over out there that we hadn't set up to spend. We lose it if we don't use it. So this could be one of those that falls right into that. And we could pay it out of that money that's been given to us by the federal government.
That makes it even better.
Do we have a deadline of when we have to send the money back?
Yeah, by the end of 23, it has to.
By the end of 23.
24, it's gonna be.
Okay.
It's the end of 23, the end of 24. It's the end of this year, next year.
Oh, no, here it is right here. I'm sorry, end of 24. End of 24.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So that would be one of those that would qualify for that.
Well, that's great. Just don't take the money for the community center.
No, this was money that was, we had money
Right.
sitting out
Yeah,
there.
we gotta make sure we.
I don't want to
we
lose
use-
any of
We
that
gotta
money.
use it up, so that's great. So that's even better, John.
Well, and then it also
So
has
no
back
cost to the
here,
taxpayer.
Public infrastructure, no, that wasn't that. There was another section that I had out here.
And we don't have to pass that. We just have to pass something and do it. And
Well, we have to pass this
then, okay.
to approve it. That we're gonna pay it out of there. There was a section I was just looking at.
Can I ask a question?
Uh-huh.
What's the annual maintenance fee going forward after year one for each of the quotes that you have? So Civic Plus is how much each year thereafter?
Civic Plus is $8,377. But that includes the $2,500 refresh. Again, we're paying now for development cost refresh to age in 28 months.
Yeah.
So,
80.
WordPress would be 1,000 and Academia was 7,000.
So one of those options is $1,000 a year annual maintenance
WordPress
going
would be
forward.
$1,000 a year, but that's not, that's just paying for the license of the software. That's it. One of the things is that, about Adavan is if we need to have any help from them, that they bill at $200 an hour. So Adavan, if you want ongoing support, bills by hour. So if we ever had to call them with an issue, they would bill us at $200 an hour. WordPress has built-in some general support, and then Civic Plus has, a team that would be supporting us.
Okay. Well, your recommendation is this, so as a department head. So we have a motion on the floor. I need to amend that motion, John?
Yeah, we need to use this.
Okay, well, I'm going to rescind the past motion that we haven't made yet.
Do you want me to read this?
Yes.
This is the ARP funding resolution that we need to pass in order to spend that money. Whereas on this date, the 5th of April, Mike Kostinsky would adopt the following resolution. As a township received distributions of monies from ARP Fund, the American Rescue Plan in 2021, Congress passed the Act 311 of 21. Section 603, created by the Coronavirus Local Fiscal Recovery Fund, which among other things appropriated monies to cities, non-entitled units of local government, and counties to mitigate financial effects stemming from the public health emergency with respect to the coronavirus disease. Section 603 is, get ready, it's just going to take a minute, but subjects to this paragraph as expected in the paragraphs, the metropolitan city, non-entitled unit of the local government, and the county shall use these funds provided under a payment made under this section to cover costs incurred by the metropolitan city, non-entitled local government, or county by December 31st of 24. To respond to the public health emergency, its negative economic effects, including assistance to households, small business, and nonprofits, or to aid impacted industries such as tourism, travel, and hospitality. To respond to workers performing essential work during COVID-19 health emergency by providing premium pay to eligible workers of the metropolitan city, non-entitled unit, or local government or county that are subject to perform essential work, or providing grants to eligible employers who have eligible workers to perform essential work. For the provision of the government service to extend of the reduction in revenue of such metropolitan cities, non-entitled units of local government or county due to the coronavirus 19 public health emergency relative to revenues collected in the most recent fiscal year, metropolitan city, non-entitled unit of local government or county prior to the emergency, to make the necessary investments, water, sewer, broadband infrastructure. The final rule, final treasury rule published on January 6th of 22 and effective April 1st of 22. I'm almost done. Treasury presumes that 10 million in revenue has been lost to the public health emergency, and recipients are permitted to use that amount not to exceed the amount awarded to fund government services. This is just going through a lot of the same wording that I just went through. I skipped out of this, but I'm going to insert the whole thing. Whereas some common examples of government service expressly recognized by the Treasury are as follows: road, building, and maintenance and other infrastructures, health services, general government administration, staff and administrative facilities, environmental remediation, skip that word. Sorry, there's certain words provision of police, fire, and other public safety services, including the purchase of fire trucks and police vehicles, maintenance or pay-go funding building infrastructure, modernization of cybersecurity, including hardware, software, and the protection of critical infrastructure. That's where this falls in. The rest of these are about pension funds that we're not doing it. I'm going to include the whole thing. So therefore, it's resolved that the board township elects to use standard allowance for its presumption of revenue loss during the public health emergency and the use of the amount of authorized herein to fund government services. The project is hereby authorized and shall be paid from the ARP funds in the amount of not to exceed, and that's where we would put in $37,000 if we did it. The project described herein serves as the objective of the act by providing services traditionally provided by government, namely police protection, fire, emergency, medical services, road repair, maintenance, other transportation and safety services, public infrastructure support, government, general government administration and administrative facilities, land and regulation of enforcement, parks and recreation facilities or programs, or other. This would go into the infrastructure. That's it. And then I needed a first and a second, and we would add that into the.
Well, I'm going to make a motion that we approve.
You just want to make this?
Yeah.
Right.
But it's using City Plus, right?
Civic Plus.
Civic Plus. The cost not to exceed $37,000.
Yeah.
And we will use the funds from, what are the?
ARP.
That was just read to the.
And I'm going to pass that. Resolution is going to be put in the minutes that I just read.
You just need a second?
Second.
Anything else?
What?
Anything else?
No, I had good conversation and long talk with Joe
And then this
before
is,
this, so I'm all right with
and
it.
this is Joe's first big expenditure as a department head. So thanks. I know you've really researched this a lot.
Yeah, I mean, as I said to you before, it's been many years since I've been involved in web development, just as the area that I've been involved in, but, you know, I helped my prior company, you know, at the time it was Ohio, make their web presence. At that time, web development was a lot cheaper than this. I was also very sticker shocked when I reached out to vendors to see, you know, I reached out to actually a company I worked with in Canton, many years ago, because I thought they make a fit for us. Their quote was almost $40,000. I didn't even include it additionally because I was very shocked by it. So I appreciate you guys, take my recommendation, because I do feel this is the best fit for the township. I do also recognize that this is an investment in technology. But as Sue brought up, that, this is something that I think will grow, the next couple of years with as the township is growing, right now. And, we're able to add, additional things to it, like the council house. Yes, that would be a very good use of this system.
Okay. Well, thank you.
All right. Okay, so all those in favor, Sue, or Mike?
Yes.
Sue,
Yes.
motion passed, and then I need you to sign right here.
So the last thing that I want to discuss, and this is kind of take advantage of the deal going on right now, and as it also with the growth of the township, is looking at our internet connection in regards to our police and fire. I feel that we're starting to outgrow the basic cable internet that we are utilizing in those two properties. And I've been working with AT&T Spectrum and a private reseller out of Cleveland, Fidelity Connections, to look into getting fiber optics pulled into our buildings. And this was actually one of the reasons why we looked at joining the Ohio Wise program and getting state contract pricing. One of the state contracts that we can take advantage of is with Spectrum Internet. They're giving us a state bid on cable internet. Spectrum, wanting to partner with us, actually proposed a kind of a combination of that state bid and some of the other local services they offer. So what they're suggesting to us is to bring in fiber internet connection into the police department and then do a private fiber connection between police and fire because they're so close. So we would have one internet connection that would be serving both buildings, but would be segmented and controlled by me on how that traffic works. So there wouldn't be any network communications with the two buildings. They would just be sharing that one internet connection. So we would have, it'd be $1,500 a month. That would give us 500 by 500 meg internet connection. 200 of that would be available to the fire department. So that way we're not jeopardizing the connection that the police department uses to access Kent State dispatch. So we're not worried about, having that connection go down. The reason that I'm doing this is twofold. First problem is most home internet connection, you're downloading, you're watching stuff. You're not sending anything out. When you're looking at a VPN connection like we're utilizing in the police department, that's the exact opposite. We're sending information to them. With cable internet, you're very limited on your upload speed. And in this area, we're limited to 30 meg. So no matter how big of a package we get with cable, it'll never go above 30. We can go, right now we have 600 meg. But it's by 30, so we can only send 30 megs of data out. Even if we went to gigabit, it would still be 30 meg. Fiber is 2 speed, so it's 500 down and 500 up. And it can expand as big as Typhoid can offer us. Right now in this area, it's 1 gig available, but Spectrum is in the process of building out their fiber network. The second piece of it is a kind of is a potential security risk. When you're talking about cable internet, it's shared, what they call nodes. So Spectrum has a literal device somewhere here in Brimfield that all of the coax meets and then it goes fiber out. Everyone that's sitting on that node, you're actually sitting on one shared connection. So, and I'm going to use me as an example because I do live on the same node. I'm in Beechcrest 2, which is directly behind Jason's fire department. So let's say I'm downloading some really big file and I'm slowing down that node. It is actually going to affect the cable connection into our fire department. So as more people, more developments are building here in Brimfield, if Spectrum doesn't keep up, that cable network's going to slow down. So even though we're paying for 600 by 30, that's the theoretical max. They can't guarantee it. So it will slow down as demand increases. When you move over to fiber, if you pay for 500, you get 500. That's a guaranteed connection. And it's also private. So while it's less likely now, when you're looking at cable internet, it is possible for someone to stay on the same node to use that internet connection to actually see what else is out there. So it's less likely, but it's likely at a bad actor sitting here in Brimfield that happens to know they're sitting on the same node as our fire department and police department. They could try leveraging that internet connection to look at our network directly. And we have firewalls and devices in place to help prevent that. But if they wanted to, they could try seeing what's available. If they find a hole, they could use that. Whereas if you're in fire department, that's a private connection between us and Spectrum. It's not shared with anyone else. So you have a true internet private connection.
Let's talk about the future for 1 minute with the cable lines that are out there versus the fiber optic. That was very similar to our phone issues that we had where Time or AT&T did not want us using those anymore because they were going to go away and they just keep jacking the price up on us until we couldn't afford it anymore. That's the same process.
Yes, Spectrum is in the process of replacing their copper network with fiber. They cannot say at what point they will get to Brimfield and start through fiber, but that's the direction that everyone is going. AT&T, Spectrum, everyone eventually is trying to get off of copper and onto fiber as the high-speed internet is growing in America. There's only so much you can do on copper. It's hard, it's expensive to maintain, whereas fiber optic is less expensive to maintain because it's not as affected by the environment as copper is. So there is, at some point, I can't expect them to never give me a date, but at some point, they will come to us and say, hey, you have to move off of coax, you have to go to fiber. So at some point, our hand will be forced anyway, and with the construction already going on, this is, I think, a good time to have the fiber optics pulled into the fire department. And we already have conduit in place for into the police department to have that done. And the only reason I'm not picking on either of the two departments, but the reason I'm recommending pulling it into the police department is because they are using that. They're the bigger user of the internet connection right now because of the VPN connection to KSU. So that is needed a little bit more, and then we'll have that private connection. If we're worried about redundancy, we can always add line of sight later. Because again, the buildings aren't too terribly far apart, so we can look at backup connections. And the existing backup connection, which is our Verizon Cradle points, those are still staying. I'm not talking about we're getting rid of those. So even if the fiber was to go down, our existing backup connection going to cellular would still remain.
Okay.
Good discussion.
You got a lot of acronyms out there, didn't you?
The reason I also bring it up today, as it started with, is right now, Spectrum is offering, if we sign by the end of the month, they will give us the first 3 months of internet access for free. We still pay for the circuit that would link the two buildings, which is about $400 of the first 3 months of internet. So we would save about $1,000 a month the first 3 months if we sign by the end of the month. Now, we're just signing the agreement. Now, we still have a build out of probably 36 months. So even if we sign by the end of the month, just to get the deal, we wouldn't have the fiber for probably about 36 days.
36 days.
36 months?
Yeah, no. I apologize, I'm drawing a blank on that.
36 weeks, 36, how long?
I believe,
We got
let
frazzled.
me get back to you.
Getting frazzled now.
Okay, so at the next meeting, we can pass a resolution?
Yes, I just wanted to get it out there that, we have a potential way of I still think we need to do it, but we can save some money if we decide here this month.
Okay.
Yeah, put all
I
that
would-
together on the next one, and then on the next meeting on the 24th, we still have time for him to get all that.
Yeah, I would like to come in and sit down because that's too much wordage for me to absorb. And I'd like to come in and sit down and let you talk to me about this so I can better understand it.
Yes.
A lot of big words. Okay.
Good thing we have a computer guy, huh?
I know, jeez. Okay, well,
Thanks,
thank you, Joe. Okay, you want a Memorial Day update?
Yeah, do we have any comments on Memorial Day update?
Well, I
Yes.
have just.
John's got some stuff for us, I'm
Michelle
sure.
sent me just an update here. We did talk to Mark Bergman yesterday with the Boy Scouts, so they're all on page with this. But we're gonna try to get away from the Lions Club pancake breakfast and the Suffield Parade. So we're going to change the time of the Memorial Day ceremony to 8 a.m. on that day so that we don't make a choice for Brimfield residents who want to go to the Suffield Parade, which is very popular. They don't have to skip one or the other. But in regards to that, we're just changing the time is what we're wanting to do. The Boy Scouts are good with it. If we're all good with it, it'll just be posted out there that it's at an earlier time to avoid all the other ceremonies that are going on in town so that possibly everybody could go to multiple if they wanted to. So that's where we want to switch it from 10 to 8 in the morning.
Okay.
Does that work for you guys?
Yeah, good.
We should ask those people out there. They're involved
we're
in all
good
that
with
stuff
that.
too. Can you get up that early?
I'll have 2 hours of working by now.
Okay. We don't need a resolution for that yet.
Change the time.
No, it's just an update here.
You want us to make one?
Yeah, just to change the time.
Okay, well, I'm gonna make a motion that we change the time of the Memorial Day celebration to 8 a.m.
Second,
Okay, all those in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Sue?
yes.
Motion passed. Thank you.
Okay, and the last thing we got is the non-union compensation.
Okay, let me write this down and I'll explain all that stuff in front of you. Okay, what we did here is it's annual time for the non-union contracted employees' annual salary or pay evaluation. She's not listening, but I want to put it out there anyway. Holly is such a huge asset to us now. Our HR sectional HR person. She did a lot of this evaluation. So what we did is that there were job descriptions that needed to be updated based on what the actual employee was doing. And some of those were way off based on that. So those were adjusted. This would affect Lauren Kaufman, Patty Harjong. I believe her name is, what's Mole's first name? Cassie Moles. And then Liz is Diana Liz, sorry. Don't see them very much. Michelle, Kirsten, and Aaron. That's who it's going to affect. After going through all of the evaluations that Holly had done and reevaluating job description and doing all that, there were 2 employees based off of their change in job description, their actual job descriptions versus what they're doing, and that was Lauren and Rochelle. So the recommendation was that to get them, and they have a thing that's called comp analysis that she uses, and it compares geographical areas, company sizes, job responsibilities, all those types of things, and it gives a range from lowest to highest. And her suggestion is that we always stay in the middle number is where we go. When doing that process, it was deemed that Lauren and Rochelle needed $1 an hour raise to be covering what they do based off the comp analysis. Everybody else that she did, she felt everybody else was right in the guidelines of where it was and suggested a cost of living increase is all they did. So what I've done on that spreadsheet on the second part below, I'm showing what they're, and sorry about that green, that makes it real hard to read. 22's rates are there. The proposed rates are next to that. Then the 3% increase, you'll see what that amount is, and then what the 2023 rate would be and what their annual wages would go to. So my suggestion is that we do give $1 an hour raise to Lauren and to Rochelle, and then just a cost of living increase to everybody else. We had already budgeted about, $10,000. This comes in at like $10,480 is what it was. So it's right within our budgeted amount that we had.
Okay. Now, I mean, there was one department had that the job responsibilities were much different than the job description. So Holly is still going through
That's a different process.
Right.
Yes, but we are looking at that as well.
Okay, good. So this will at least get stuff going.
Well, this is
What we need.
actually in that situation, that's just a contract versus non-union, non-contract employees. So this wouldn't affect that person anyway, but we are going to evaluate job descriptions and pay and all that stuff. So this is just for the non-union, non-contracted employees.
Okay.
Any questions on that at all, or?
No, I would like to make a motion that based on their recommendation.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh.
let us get a,
Can I,
well, let's go ahead and get the motion passed.
Can I get the motion? I'd like to make a motion that based upon the research and the documentation and recommendation of Holly, that we accept the proposed $1 an hour increase for Kaufman and Stasel, and then the group as a whole be given a cost of living 3%
Okay, I'll second that for discussion.
for discussion.
I was just gonna ask if you could please temporarily table my 3 employees that are funded out of my police levy budget for the wages, so I can get an opportunity to consult Holly a little bit further on the final number. I appreciate that.
Yeah, sorry. I mean, I thought you were talking to her in regards to that anyway. You just haven't finalized it with her yet?
Yeah, there's just a couple of things I wanted to touch base with on that.
Okay. All right. I didn't give this to you. You had it on
Oh, I do. I've got your, I got
Okay.
that.
All right. Okay. So do we just want to accept the admin
Yes.
part of the non-union and then table the PD non-union? Okay.
Okay, that's
Is that
fine.
good for you, Sue? That's your motion? Okay.
Yeah.
Mike, you still want to second that?
Yeah, I'm gonna still second it. I just, I'm just a little concerned. I mean, we have one employee that's very low on the totem pole here. So, but I do want to discuss it with Holly. I mean, I do think it's a good tool having her. And I was the last one that wanted HR, but she's a very, very knowledgeable lady.
From multiple perspectives, she's been very helpful on a lot of stuff.
So, yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. All those in favor? Sue?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Okay. So, is there anything else that we're missing? So I'm gonna make a motion.
Oh, I got something. I got something to tell you. First of all, May the 13th, from 9 o'clock to 4 o'clock, there is a Sioux Fields cleanup at Edson Park. And Cassie has all the things you can bring and the things that we don't want, but just clean your house out and get rid of that stuff. And then I have been given and returned to me a cookbook. And this cookbook was written, it's the Brimfield Bicentennial Cookbook of 1976. And I want you to know Mrs. McCormick, Edgar's wife, liked oyster sandwiches at her teas. So anyway, it's an original. I'm very, very, very pleased to have it. And there's some really good recipes in there. And then the last thing I want to ask, I'm thinking about this big pole we're going to put up there for the flag, but we forgot to put the new flag on the new pole. So I don't know how much a new flag would cost. I don't want an automobile dealership flag, but I want one big enough and made out of a material that has some lasting to it because we have such high winds. So I think what we should do is have Craig do some research and bring it, or Cassie, bring it and get us whoever, and it would be wonderful if we could have it up by Memorial Day.
I think it comes with a flag. I thought when I read that.
I don't know. Oh, I know, I don't want an empty pole.
I thought there was a flag. Yeah.
I don't want an empty pole. I want a flag on it.
Yeah, I think I read it. It does come with a flag. So, yeah, I agree with you. So.
Okay, but that was just my thought. That's it, I'm done.
Okay, well, I think we have a meeting. Huh? We have a meeting at 10:30 with Parks, 10 o'clock.
What do they want to ask weather, if they have any comments?
Okay, you have any comments? Okay, I'm gonna make a motion. We end this meeting and get it to our next meeting.
We can adjourn, I second it.
Okay, all those in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Okay, we are adjourned at 10:14 a.m. Is there, when is this next meeting now? Because I have a meeting.